There is a bike in Harley Davidson's lineup that really baffles me as to why people actually buy this bike. And today I want to talk about it, and that being the Road King Special. Now, if you are a Road King Special lover and or rider, don't take this video the wrong way. This is not really aimed at you. It's not aimed at your bike necessarily either. Well, it kind of is in a way. But this is really the decisions of Harley Davidson that I kind of put out there and say, what the hell are you doing? So regardless, man, if this is your first time stopping by, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit your notifications so you never miss a video from me. If you want to check out my other content that I do here on YouTube, I have a very large community in gun reviews. I actually make my own music, and I also do truck reviews as well. I'll leave the links to those channels down below. I'd love to have y'all come over and join those awesome communities as well. Let's go ahead and get into it. So I was at a demo day some time back at Savannah Harley Davidson, and I rode 3 bikes, and one of them was the Road King Special, which is an interesting bike. In the India world, it's like the Springfield, right? So I want to tell you what I like about the bike first, and then get to my biggest gripe with it. And first of all, let me say, compared to the Road King Standard, I love the styling on this bike way better, man. It's all blacked out. You got the 114, you got the big floorboards, natural seating position, not the most natural, not as natural as like a Heritage Classic or even a Road Glide, but it's still a comfortable positioning. It almost feels like the Street Glide Special that I had, of course, then without the fairing. So the front end feels very light and very maneuverable. It has the stretch saddlebags, which I think just make this bike look incredible. It has, of course, a passenger setup, and then it has the lowered stance compared to the Road King Standard. You have an LED headlight in the front and halogen bullet style turn signals up on the handlebars. Very stripped down looking bike here. So you have your speedometer up on the top of the center console there, sitting on the tank. On the left side of that, you actually have a fuel level gauge. It's like an analog gauge. And then, of course, opposite of that on the tank is your actual fuel cap. Coming down the center console, you can see that you actually have your ignition switch, and then, of course, your turn signals on, and your neutral indicator, and some other little lights and stuff, but that's pretty much it. It's pretty bare bones. Now, this one does have front engine guards. The one I rode specifically has the little shorty kind of mustache style guards. So overall, the styling on the bike looks really, really nice. But there's one big thing, and you got to ask yourself, why do people buy touring motorcycles? Now, I want you to leave your answer down below. Why do people buy touring motorcycles? You know, now some people don't buy them. I don't really do a lot of touring, but I have a touring motorcycle, and I can tell you exactly why I bought it. Because it has a fairing, and it has a radio. And the Special has the stretch saddlebags, and it's all blocked out. But I bought it because it's just comfortable to ride. You know, it blocks a lot of the wind. You don't get super fatigued. You know, it'll block some of the freaking rocks that are coming at you 80 miles an hour from the semi in front of you. You know, it'll block some of the rain and stuff, you know, from, you know, hitting your clothes. Well, regardless, it really blocks a lot of the wind, right? And it keeps you from getting super fatigued over a period of time or over fatigued. You know, you can really ride on these things a long, long time and just be super comfortable. Even the Road King Standard, which styling wise looks very similar to like the Heritage Classic, except for a few things. You know, the Road King Standard has hard bags. Heritage Classic has leather bags. The handlebars are a little bit different set up, and the wheels are a little bit different, essentially. Okay, there's some other things, but you get where I'm going here. The Road King and the Heritage Classic are similar, I'll just say. But both of those bikes come with a windshield. Quick removable windshield, which is fantastic. Because just like the Road King Special, you almost have 2 bikes in one. You have one that is truly set up and can be a great touring motorcycle, or you could take the windshield right off if it had it, and it become your stripped down commuter or your, you know, bike night or your bar hopper or whatever you do. It could be a number of things. But for some reason, Harley Davidson says, hey, we gave him the 114, blacked out everything, stretched saddlebags, better styling, leave the windshield off of it. I would assume, and I want you riders and people that actually sit in the saddle on these things, you know, every day or every week or whatever, what is the first thing you buy for this bike? Besides maybe your pipes. I would assume the first thing you would buy is some kind of windshield, whether it's a blacked out windshield, which would look best on this bike, or something. Because that is why a lot of people buy touring bikes. It's comfortable, you know? Now, I'm not a fan of just having a windshield. I want the fairing because I want the radio. That's something big to me. I like listening to my music when I'm riding, and that's why I got rid of the Lowrider S so quick. That and, you know, a number of other reasons, but regardless, you want a touring motorcycle, you want the capability to tour. You wouldn't think that spending $20,000 or $22,000 on a bike, you would then have to turn around for your touring motorcycle and buy a piece of equipment so you could do some serious touring on it. You would just think it comes with it. Or maybe I'm just totally off base here. But that's my biggest gripe with this, is that Harley Davidson doesn't put, it's almost like, I know they didn't leave it off on purpose. I know they didn't. But just because you're giving the people a stripped down motorcycle, it's still a touring bike. Just because you give them the 114 and the stretch bags and all that doesn't mean you leave one of the most vital components to touring off of the bike. You let them choose when they buy it to either leave it on or take it off. And I know that people have the choice whether they want to buy this bike or not. I get it. But it's got the motor for it. It's a great seating position. It's got the stretched freaking saddlebags. And it's listed as a touring motorcycle on their website. But it's like, no matter what Harley comes out with, you're almost forced to spend money on something they didn't do right, whether that's lighting, pipes. It's really not them exclusively. Everybody buys pipes for their motorcycles, right? The EPA has your balls constricted on your motorcycle on every stock motorcycle. So that's not just a Harley thing. So scratch that. But whether it's, oh, I got to complete the set of LED lights here because they only gave me the one, or I bought my touring motorcycle and it doesn't come with a friggin' windshield. Again, I get it. People buy these things for a reason. I'm just trying to figure out the reason. Is it Harley just being cheap asses and forcing you to go to the store? Or is there something I'm missing here with the styling and the way this bike is set up that you, as the rider, think it's perfect the way it is? I just don't get it, man. And I would love to hear some feedback on this. I do not hate this motorcycle. Matter of fact, this green with that blacked out everything, it looks really good. And given the choice of a Road King Standard or a Special, I'd buy the Special. And then I'd get a windshield. It's asinine to me. But again, I want to hear what your opinion is. Those of y'all that sit in the saddle on these things, what do you think about this, man? Let me know down below. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support what I do here, you can actually do that on Patreon. That link will be down below as well. Thank you guys for joining me. I'll see you in the next one. And as always, hold the rubber side down.